Welcome, dear friends, to Matt Bajerski YouTube channel. Okay, I've got some questions here. I like these questions and answers. It's pretty cool. So I'm just going to do this. I don't know which question, but we'll just answer one today because I'm busy with uploading crystals and working on them. So, okay, ready? The question is, ways to use this time right now to spiritually grow. Basically what that means is people who are going through a terrible moment right now of trying to protect themselves from what's going on right now, trying to heal from this suffering that people are going through, the pain that many of us are going through with the battle of things that we disagree with, that we don't agree with. So we're all in conflict, families, friends, everybody's fighting and getting angry, and it's a very challenging moment. So it's a really good time to step away and start to work on your spiritual growth. So there's many ways to do this. The first way is to step away from the madness, from the insanity, from the lunatic asylum that surrounds us at any given moment. So it's very easy to step into that. Once you've stepped into that, you've lost your spiritual growth. You will experience your earthly journey experience through the madness. Of course you will. And it gives you a great idea of how you react, and sit down and look at yourself and think, how did I react? Most of the times, I think a lot of us shake our heads and say, I wish I didn't even bother. You know, is it worth it? There is a balance at some time, and you've got to speak your truth about what you see, what you hear, and your truth is equally as valid as somebody else's. If you dismiss somebody else's truth, then you're a hypocrite. You're just the same as them. But it is frustrating when you believe you know facts, and they're spewing out their truth, and it's a struggle. But spiritual growth is that when you're in the midst of madness, how you knee-jerk, how you react is definitely part of the spiritual growth. To sit down and relieve yourself of ego is part of that journey, and ego is a huge thing in this day and age. So how do I do that? I look back on my life and say, Mark, do you remember when you believed that and now you don't believe that? So were you right then, or are you right now? And at that given moment, I realized that you're never right or wrong, Mark. You're just in an illusion of what you believe is truth, but it's just an illusion when all's said and done. And it's our truth at that moment, and at this moment, it's my truth. So if my truth was different from what it is now, then why would you be angry at somebody else whose truth is what it is now, that maybe in 2 months they come back to you and say, oh, Mark, or guess what? I found that, and you go, yeah, well, that's what I tried to tell you. But I often use this understanding that I learn from children, and that no matter how much a mother and father tells their child a certain experience and a certain knowledge, all of a sudden they'll meet a stranger, and that stranger or somebody else will say exactly what you've been saying for 2 or 3 years, and they'll turn around to you and go, oh my God, guess what? And you'll go, yeah, but I've been telling you that for years. Well, if you understand what that means, it means that maybe it wasn't your moment to tell them, even though you told them. So it's like, okay, so when I share my truth, it doesn't matter whether they get it or not, because it might not be their moment to understand that. And the penny drop moment can happen to anybody. And actually, when you speak about that to your children, look at you when you were a child. Look at you now with your partner. I mean, even yesterday, somebody said, yeah, I told you that a few months ago. I'll go, whoa, did you? And you go, yeah, I told you 3 times. I'm like, oh, I never heard it. Now, if you change that around to you, actually put the shoes on somebody else, it's like, oh, well, it's there's something really in that. Maybe we should study that in our spiritual path. Maybe we should sit and meditate and think about that deeper every day. Why didn't I hear that? Was it because I chose not to? I didn't hear that, or like I'm speaking to you like you're trying to tell your friends what's going on in the world right now and what you can see and they can't. Think about it. Maybe it's just not their time. And then when you go even deeper and you look at the spiritual aspect of this, maybe there is timelines, maybe. And those timelines are at a certain moment, you have this divine epiphany, this moment where it's a self-realization to something. But that timeline was set for you because of a certain reason. So everybody has a timeline because the universe is very clever. The consciousness, spirit is very clever of how each one of us can serve a purpose. So imagine there's a war, and in that war, consciousness says, you're not going to understand what this war is while everybody is fighting on the front line, because we need you after this front line has finished their war to then step in and go over there to help. So your timeline for when you all of a sudden understand what's going on in this world, the madness that is happening, happens at a certain moment. And actually, when you step back and think about that, wow, that's pretty powerful. And actually, when you realize that and you see your children, your friends who are totally oblivious to all of that, maybe, just maybe, it's a conscious, perfect plan for the moment where that divine interaction, that thunderbolt and lightning strike hits them, for them to step up and to continue that beautiful battle between light and dark. Now, if you take that as your measuring stick, as your knowledge, your wisdom, then actually you wouldn't fight with other people, because then you would respect that consciousness says you are ready when you're ready. And it's not about old souls and young souls. That's ego. What if it's about their divine moment? So now, when I talk to people, when I get upset, it's because of me. It's because of my ego or my frustration. Because I want them to understand, but maybe it's not their time. Maybe their time is set just at the perfect moment for them to kick in and then make the change that this world needed. Not to say that you didn't make the change, of course you did. You're making the change right now if you understand what's going on and you're sharing that with the world. But maybe, just maybe, the next time you enter into conflict with your friends and family, stand back and remember what that guy said on the internet with the crazy tops, but today is wearing a jumper. Maybe it's just not their divine moment. And when it is, they're going to kick into this amazing power and they're going to be a warrior for the light, as they always were. But just at this moment, what they're going through is just a process. It's just what they need to go through to get that moment of awakening. And whether that is something that they wish they hadn't have done, or whether it's complete nil and void emptiness that they don't see, let us not fall in that trap as we do daily. Let's stand back and say, today I'm going to be more of a spiritual being, and I'm not going to get involved in anger, sadness, grief, bitterness, but I'm going to see everybody as part of a divine army of light workers whose moment of putting their shiny suits, their armor battle ready to fight the dark as you are doing today. I think I'm going to leave it there and let you Think about that for a moment, because I know a lot of us are going through this suffering right now of why, but maybe this might have helped a little bit. And today, maybe you can make the change. And let's not fight anymore. Let's not question why. Let's just trust in the universe has plans for all of us. And that's not up to you and I to break, to push, to force. Let it just be. And let's make this the most important moment, the most important thing that we do from right now. Let us look up this moment and say, okay guys, I believe that I'm seeing what I'm seeing. And I believe I can see what's going on and the fight, the battle we have. And I know in my heart I want everybody to know this, but I am going to now trust in the universe, the consciousness, in spirit, in my brothers and sisters in the spirit world back home. And I'm going to say to you, look, you know I have the message. You know I have my truth. It might not be anybody else's truth. But if they're ready, and when they're ready, then bring them to me and tell them to ask me what I feel. And at that point will be the only point I share my truth from this moment on. Maybe that might help our spiritual path. Because if that's the case, if nobody comes to you today, maybe it's because you need to then spend more time on yourself, cleaning out, creating, healing, and trying to enjoy yourself with that knowledge that in their moment they will awaken. Have a beautiful day, guys, and thank you with all my heart for going to Bajerski.com last night and buying your authentic crystals, oils, incense and teas. I truly hope you enjoy them as much as I enjoyed working with them. They're doing some good work for all of us right now. Bless you all. Thanks, guys. I hope this helped today. Take care.